Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Life with a Y. We are here still stuck at home, but somebody told me last week life is like a race, and that made me think if life is a race, is it like a sprint or a marathon? I want to know what do you guys think?
I have an opinion. Can I go first?
Yeah, sure.
No.
Anyways, I think that life is it's better off being a marathon than a sprint. And I think the main reason why is because when you're in a sprint, you're really competing with everybody else around you. You're trying to win so badly. Whereas of a marathon, you're not really trying to beat anyone else. You're just trying to set a personal record, your personal best. So I think it's better off that way.
It sounds like your experience of running marathon, is it?
Of course I do,
Oh.
Yeah. I've ran a marathon before. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold up. How many kilometers are there in a marathon, huh?
42.
42.
Yeah.
So you ran 42.
Fine.
Oh, okay.
I ran 10K. Okay. It wasn't really a full marathon. So,
Okay. So
yeah.
you went to the grocery store, basically.
okay, let's see you try. Let's see you try. But no, I have experience with long distance running, and I really enjoyed it because in high school, right, you would have experience sprinting, but then like when I was running this quarter marathon or whatever you would call it, there was actually an incident.
Oh.
So what happened was all of a sudden my hair tie it snapped. And then I was desperate. I was trying to look for a backup, right? Because you can't really run with your hair like flying around you. So there was this girl, and she just ran by me, and I think she saw me. She noticed that my hair tie broke, so she just kind of like backtracked a bit, and then she actually offered me her backup hair tie, and then she's like, "Do you need this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And at that moment, I just felt like, wow, in a marathon, it seems more supportive. You're in a very supportive environment. And I really appreciated that gesture. So, hey, if you're watching this, thank you. But yeah, going back to my point, it's all about I love the cooperation and the support versus like a competitive environment.
Without the hair tie, you might have looked the cast in Mulan movie, like the heroine going on the horses and hair flying everywhere.
Oh yeah, that would be epic. Yeah. So that's my little spiel.
You know, I actually I think you're wrong, Chloe. Although I like your answer.
Uh-huh.
I think it was nice. It was very cute.
Here comes the wise man.
But I think that life is actually a marathon and a sprint. Because there's so many different phases in your life, right? There are parts where you do have to sprint through it. Sprinting is kind of like where you tax yourself the most, right? Like you want to use the most amount of energy, the most power to see how far you can get in a short period of time. And those times are like those are times in like usually when you're in school and you're really trying to like cram for an exam, when you're trying to like get into like a really prestigious university or something like that, or a program that you want to get into, right? And those are the times where you don't have time to like take a look at where your hair tie is. You just got to go as fast as you can, right? And that's the situation about life, right? Like sometimes you have to work as hard as you can and just like pump it out. Although I like that idea of personal growth, right, which is really the marathon thing, and how it's trying to better yourself. You're not competing against others.
Yeah.
But the reality of life is that sometimes it is a race, and it's whoever gets there first wins, and that's the problem, right? So you do have to have a little bit of both, I think.
But did you find out with like constantly sprinting, first of all, you can get burned out really easily. And second of all, if life is just a series of sprints, then you're just chasing for one thing. And once you obtain it, right, you're chasing another thing. So it's almost never ending. And it's so tiring that way.
It's true. I think that there should be I mean, now that I'm in my 30s, I feel like I want to go slower, but life doesn't give you that opportunity sometimes. Sometimes you just have to go fast, right?
But the way you explain it, it's almost as if like your happiness, right, towards life is completely contingent on whether you end up being first in that sprint. So you try so hard to attain whatever it is that you want. That's your goal, right? That's your end goal. And then in the end, if you don't get it, it's almost as if like you don't derive a sense of joy and happiness from it. And that's the good thing about marathons, because even if you don't place in the top 3, right, you still feel good about your accomplishment.
Can you help us break the tie, Grisha?
I can see, John, your point, because especially in the early part of life, right, when you are in your teens, everybody thinks your goal, if it is to get into the best university, you really put so much effort. But if you go to your 30s, you will realize even if it is not the best university, it was second or third or fourth, you can still get where you want to get in life. There's no absolute best, right? Whatever your life is, how you make of it. So I think being in your younger years, you do realize to run like a sprint, because you want to get everything right now. And the long term vision only comes once you spend like some time in job, you have some stability, and you think that things do stabilize. There is no absolute goal that you have to meet, and after that your life gets settled. So I definitely agree with that point. Now coming to what Chloe said, unlike her, I have actually ran a full marathon.
Oh.
Burned. I just got burned.
But I do agree with her point, because when I ran this marathon around 6 years back, I remember this one place, there was a set of people who were cheering for others, right, who were trying to finish this marathon. And I was like probably the last 10 or 20 people who were finishing that marathon. The traffic had started to come in because they had removed all those blockades, which was supposed to be for marathon, which was 4 o'clock. We started, and I was still on the road 9 o'clock. But I realized that that's what it was about. You just need to finish. That's what it is about. As long as you get there and you feel you have sense of satisfaction, which Chloe said. So I absolutely agree that that collaboration, that support, and the sense of satisfaction, because it's your personal best, and there is no competition with anyone. And it doesn't mean that marathon people do not compete, but I think they still look for their personal best. That's the idea which comes from that. So I definitely agree with that idea.
So who do you think is better? Whose answer is better? You're
It's not about
tiebreaker.
that, Chloe.
No,
It's
but
not
I
about
just-
who.
I would let audience. I would let audience find out which one suits
Yeah,
to their
if you
needs.
preferred my answer, tell me about it, and then if you
Now that's a sprint kind of mentality. Chloe.
Right.
The actual answer should be who answered to the best of their capability.
So
right?
you just proved my point then. Oh, didn't you?
I mean, because I'm collaborating with you, right? And so I'm the one who's actually embraced these ideas.
Okay, we'll have a separate
It doesn't
episode
sound
on
like-
whose answers are better, John's or Chloe's. We will
Yes,
have a separate
yes.
episode for that.
Mhm.
No, it's not about that, guys. It's about personal growth.
No, but I'm so glad, John, that you're embracing how I view life, as a marathon. It's so great that you've embraced it. And you're now practicing something that I preach. I love it. Thank you, John.
Yeah, I think I've already lapped you actually in coming to these conclusions. Well, I guess have you got your answer, Grisha?
Mhm.
By the way, it feels like we're sitting on the same couch, eh?
Oh, nice.
No, one's white, one's black.
Well, it could be like a black and white thing.
Okay, all right. Way to exclude me, guys.
I did get my answer. I also wanted to add that in life, whether anything which is valuable, whether it is your relationship, your career, whether it is health, it is a long-term commitment. You cannot just be done exercise one day or eating healthy food one day. It's a long-term, and that's like a marathon. That's how I see. But definitely in short term, when you're trying to find a job or trying to find somebody who will help you with certain activity, that might be a short form of sprint where you try to achieve the best possible in that situation. But I think the bigger important things in life are like marathon. That's what I see from this conversation.
That's so beautiful, John. I'm sorry, Karina. Oops.
That's all right.
I am very beautiful, I know.
You're not. You're not. And on that note, we shall say goodbye. And please let us know what your views are, whether you see life as a sprint or as a marathon. All right. Bye.